Hello. It is yet again update time. Couple of kind of big things happening, I guess. I had a job interview yesterday um for this place that makes signs and stickers for um buildings and electronics, I guess. But I don't think it's going to work out. I think the job is fine. I'm still considering it. I mean, I haven't gotten an offer yet. I just had an interview, but I just like to think about it before I get an offer so I know how I really feel, um, rather than being influenced by getting an offer. So I try to decide before if I will take the job or not, and I'm not going to take it. Part of me wants to take it just because it's would be new experience, um, more in the direction that I want to go, but it's just not all I want, you know. Um, and I'm privileged to be able to say that because I don't need that much income right now, um, which I'm very grateful for. So I have the ability to say no to it, um, and that's part of what I'm learning right now. So I need to actually learn it instead of be like, oh, it's fine. I'll just take it and learn what I can from it. Like, that's not uh, my goal right now. So there's flexible hours, but it still sort of feels like it's flexible, but not like 100% flexible, like I need it to be. And it's in this little office, but there's no windows. And it's it's just like a new little business, which is fine. I just don't think it's actually aligned for me. The more consistent money would have been a little nice, but I just don't think it's. I would definitely learn from it. Um, I just don't think it's the best way to be using my time right now. So, I wrote a lot about that yesterday, and I just need to say no. Sometimes when you're manifesting stuff, you get something that is partially what you want, but not all of what you want. And I struggle with that because sometimes it's like, well, this partial manifestation does could benefit me in a few ways. But there's also when that situation happens, there's also ways that accepting the partial manifestation will hold you back, even though your ego doesn't want to think that. So I think that this is just that kind of situation. And there has been a few interviews that I've had in the last year. I have a very not healthy relationship with applying to jobs, but going through the interviews is really a good experience for me because it makes the situation very real because you're talking to another person, and it helps you see what you actually want and what you're actually looking for, when you're really faced with that choice rather than just thinking about it and abstractly. One of those things that I learned is that I need to focus on just building what I'm building. And I have been doing that all year, but it has kind of gone back and forth between being my priority and not my priority because I've mentioned this before. At the same time that all of this shit is going on, I'm also learning how to rest, how to balance, when to push myself, when to not push myself. And there's times when it feels like I need to go full speed ahead to catch up or make more progress that I want to be making progress on these things. So I feel like I need to go full speed ahead to get it done. But then I'm exhausted and I can't do that. And I know I'm I cannot ignore my exhaustion. So then I sleep or I do other things. And then it's like, it just doesn't feel like I'm really doing what I need to do. But so it's just very confusing sometimes. Um, but then there's days where I make good progress and it feels good. Like yesterday was one of those days that I uh, did a lot of work on my new Etsy store. Now, I decided to open an Etsy store because I had a idea to make a e-reader wallpaper store. Now, there's tons of these on Etsy, but I wanted to do it as well and have my just have it as a possible source of income, but also just a project to do. Okay, so I opened it. When I opened my first Etsy store years ago, or was it 2020 maybe? I didn't have to pay $30, but I had to pay $30 this time. So I opened it, and for this type of product, you need to do mock ups. And I was really using that as a way to avoid doing it, but I made them. I took my own photos and I made my own mock ups. And I'm really proud of myself. I'm looking at them right now. I'm really proud of myself because 2 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this. And it's not like it's a hard thing. I'm very capable to do all of the things that I need to do, but I just have a lot of mental blocks. But girl, I made this shit and it looks pretty good. And I took my own photos and then I edited it and I love it. And I'm really proud of myself for doing it. Because this is the type of like formal brand thing that like normally would stress me out. And it has in the past, it has stressed me out. But I was able to do it yesterday. And every time I'm able to like do one of these more advanced tasks, I just am so happy because I know I'm making progress. Me being able to do this and complete it means I'm going to work through whatever I need to work through to be able to do the next thing for my next project. So, the point of this is not to make the money, which would be great. um but it's really to go through the process of doing it so then when I need to do it again later, it's easier and I can do it better. I made it's not really like full branding for it, but like, the header for the shop. And I guess those are the two main things, the job interview and then this project. I finished a book yesterday, which is the first book that I've read in a year, which is great. But I read it on my Kobo, and this is the one of the wallpapers. See, this is the thing about doing it. My little brand is Iris Paper Co., which I think is adorable. But this is a new challenge because it's going to be on e-ink devices. And I'm going to get a color one too. But it's very interesting because this looks different, obviously, on a normal screen. So it's a good practice for me to do high contrast things because after loading these onto my Kobo, I edited them and then I'm going to re upload them and see how they look better. They're going to look better. I have that one. Then I have the dark mode one, which actually isn't too bad, but I made a higher contrast one. Now, my next goal is to get back into sketching because I have not really done that since April. I've done it maybe like 3 days since April. And I did not design a sticker last month. So I want to do that this month and I have an idea that I'm going to do today. And then I have a few other things I want to do that involve drawing. So I'm trying to get back into that and not be scared of that. I'm continuing to prep to move. I kind of don't like that I don't know the timeline on that, but I'm just trying to get ready as much as I can without stressing about it, and then I know I'll be ready at the right time. So yeah, mostly I've just been thinking about job stuff because I I wanted originally I started looking for a job here so I can get some extra money cuz right now I'm just like treading water, but I'm not really like making progress on things as much as I want, but I still have enough money for the time being. So that was my intention, but I just don't think it's going to work out because I really just need to do this because I don't know why there's like no part-time jobs and it's all full-time and I like physically can't do that. Like even yesterday, I got up at 9 a.m. and took a shower, drove half an hour, had a half an hour interview, drove to a coffee shop, sat and wrote for an hour, drove 30 minutes back, and like I needed to take a nap or at least lay down. And I did that, and then I lay down for like a few hours. I just can't do that right now, even if I want to, apparently. I just need to stop doing that and stop entertaining it so the universe isn't getting the wrong message from me because right now I'm sending it mixed messages. So want to refine that a bit because I wanted to get a job also to get out and do something and be involved with something in the world. But I guess that's just not gonna happen right now, and I'm just gonna have to go to coffee shops and spend $5 a day, which isn't the worst thing because I like sporting coffee shops, but I'm, trying to not spend more than I need to. But I read a book the other day, and I've been thinking about reading because I have an interesting relationship with reading. I think when I was growing up, I read a lot, and I think it was more of a distraction rather than like me genuinely being interested in it. Um, and I saw an article about this on Substack that it's like it being at a high reading level when you're young is probably just, I mean, not for everyone, but it's like you just read so much because you were using it as a coping mechanism to escape, but nobody was going to tell you to stop reading because reading's good for you. So that's kind of been on my mind. And last night I was reading. I had 20% left of my book and I was like, I won't finish it right now. But then I changed my mind, decided to finish it, and then I was done reading at 12:30 a.m. And it's like honestly, staying up till 2 a.m. reading is not better than being on your phone reading or being on your phone scrolling till 2 a.m. Because you're still kind of forcing yourself to stay awake and probably distracting yourself from something. So, not all inclusive, but that was really interesting to think about because that's definitely like there has been times recently where I want to read and have that feeling of reading, but I didn't want to escape into another world and kind of learn how a whole new world works and all that stuff. Um, and even with nonfiction, it just felt like it was too much of like other, like I wanted to be present, I guess. um, and those things just weren't gonna have that. But then I felt conflicted because I wanted to read or do something, but and reading is still consuming. Maybe it's better consumption than doom scrolling, but when it comes down to it, it's still consuming rather than creating, and I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create more. It's kind of like when you are like a creative person, you have to balance the creation and consumption because um, you need both and it needs to be in balance. And it's like sometimes you're creating so much and then you kind of use up all your inspiration and stuff, and then you need to go out and consume and experience to get more. But then if you're consuming and experiencing without doing anything, then it all gets, stuck and piles up in your body. Uh, just like your digestive system. It's the same exact thing. So it really needs to be balanced. And then it's not that simple because sometimes consuming is hard, sometimes creating is hard, sometimes they're both easy, and then but I'm sure as things get more into the flow, then it becomes easier and easier. But yeah, so that is the update. It feels good to create a video after not doing it for so long.